Hey, this is Dorian Day, and welcome to Serum in Depth number 16. Today I'm going to be showing you how to put massives of wavetables into Serum easily. Now there's some quotations around easily. It's still rather involved and took me several hours to complete all the steps. Hopefully with some information it'll go faster for everyone else. But it's much quicker than the other method I was trying, which was using samples. I'm going to show everyone that, but this result is pretty much perfect, whereas I was having some trouble with the other way. So what do? Well, you Google Reddit massive wavetables. You go to the Reddit thread, and someone made a Python script to extract the waves out of the massive wavetables from tables.dat in your native instruments folder. Python's pretty easy to use. I'm not going to go into how to download or install Python, but I'm going to show you how to use it on Mac. And apparently it comes pretty much set up for Windows. So you can come to this page and read through if you're having any problems. And I'm sure in not too long someone will upload these wavetables, so you don't have to bother with all of this, but I'm not going to do it. So this is what you're going to have to go through for now. So first of all, download the script here. Okay. Now open it in TextEdit. All right, and this is, I already have the edited one open over here so that we can just change things quickly, but what it comes open to, or originally as, is C program files, x86 common files, native instruments massive. So whatever your system configuration is on Windows, you would just need to point to your massives folder, and then you can set the output directory, which is basically creating a massive folder in C and exporting to there. At least I'm pretty sure. And we're doing essentially the same thing, but for Mac. So for Mac, we have library, application support, native instruments, massive. Copy, paste. So just type that in, and then .desktop / massive. Now I created a folder on my desktop called just massive. Save this, and then I drag it to my desktop. Actually, so just suppose you dragged it because I already have the correct one there, and now I'm going to show you how to run it. So if you open a fresh terminal, and you can get to terminal by searching in the magnifying glass, and in Windows I would use idle, which is what comes with Python to run. So cd / desktop. No. Okay, apparently not. Okay, no, just cd. I'm already on my desktop, but where do you start from? How do you restart this? Send hard reset. Okay, there we go. So, nah, it's still on my desktop, so cd ... I'm pretty sure that's where it starts as your username. So if you ls, then you have desktop, change / desk. Nope, you need the dot. So hopefully, seeing through all those errors, you have a little bit of a better idea of how to use Unix. You're pretty much just going to need to probably switch into users or something. I suppose if I show you from the home directory. So you can just do cd ... until you're all the way up at the original directory. And then you do / change directory / users list diata for me. List change to desktop. There you go. There's the desktop. All right, so now type Python massive.py, and there you go. Just ran a bunch of lines of code, and over here on my desktop, I have this file with all of the massive waveforms in it, including all of the the performer shapes, or not the performer shapes, but inside of LFO. Inside of massive right here, when you go to LFO, these shapes, you can find those in here as audio files. So too bad Serum can't use audio files to form LFOs or envelopes because they're already in here. But they're not named so well. So if you go back to this file or this Reddit page and click on paste bin, you'll see there's a file that lists what is what. So you pretty much have to match them up. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So I guess let's grab one of these, or maybe two, and then I'm going to show you the files I've already done. So let's do everyone's favorite modern talking is WTGT Nord. G2 Nord formats. Interesting. Apparently this is from the G2 Nord. I feel like we've solved the mystery. And finding them is kind of a pain because they're not named. They also have numbers in front that aren't logically ordered. So I'm going to drag this off screen, click into Serum. Now, all of these waveforms have the benefit of being well-formed wavetables. Now, what that means is that they're each cycle or frame is a multiple of, I think 256 is the smallest denomination, but most of them are 256, or most of them are 2048 or 1024. With a couple 512s and I think one 256. And what that means is, well, if you want more information on what that means, you need to watch some of the previous videos I've made, just the last couple Serum in depth. But pretty much you can type into here 2048, drag over the file, and all right, now I recommend putting an LFO on the wavetable to test. Okay, well, that doesn't sound so perfect, so what do? Well, we morph and crossfade them. There you have it. There's modern talking. We can try it 1024. So I'm pretty sure that's actually the one, and we can find out by coming into Massive, copying over this note, drawing in some automation. generally draw in the automation on Serum too because it's easier to match it to Massive and hear exactly what's going on. So there you have it. Perfect, massive waveforms. And here's my folder of all of them. Here they all are. 1 second. So if you see through here, you can see that there's dots by each one of these, or not all of them. So if there's no dot, it means that it was 2048 samples. If there's a green dot, it means it's 1024. So you had to type 1024 into that little box and then drag this file in, and you got the correct result. So take a look at this, and you can see which ones you need to do what for. Here's Deep Throat. It's blue. I don't remember what blue was, so let's try that. I think it's 512. That's definitely not it. You can see all these blank spaces. So maybe it was 1024. Yep, it was 1024. The color was wrong. So, bunch greens here. The no greens are Dirty PMW and Dirty Needle. Then right here, Escalation, Frozen. Okay, we have a blue one down here. I'm pretty sure that is an actual problem on Mellifont. I think it's 512. So there's that. Grab Mellifont. Nope. It sounds, so this is a good way. So it sounds close. Just one smooth and one is distorted. And that's one way to know if you're perhaps a multiple of, well, it's, yeah, best way to put it is you use these things up here where you multiply or halve the frames, and that's basically multiplying or having the sample sections in the formula that split the waveform up. And once again, for more information on that, check out some of the previous videos on these topics. So there you go. Much closer, but you can still hear distortion on the high end. And that's because Serum does better with waveforms that are closer to its internal frame size of 2048. 1024 doesn't seem to be too bad, but 512 and 256, you start hearing high-end distortion, or at least I've noticed. Let's bring this back. So after Mellifont, you got Melomantic, Modern Talking Green at 1024. A couple more at 1048. yada yada yada, all the way down until you get to Woody, which was probably the worst sounding one out of all of these. And I believe it was also 256. Sorry. So yeah, it's a pretty bad one. You can see even at, I mean, the fewest you can have is 2 at 256. If we go to 128, you get 4. I don't recall if it sounds better or worse. Worse. Let's see what one I ended up going with. So that was probably the worst one. Let's go through some of them so you can hear. So let's see. Let's go from Massive first because these are out of order and hard to find. So let's go with Crusher. Find it in Massive, Massive, Crusher. And this is an important time to note that some of Massive's like we've been talking about, some are at 1024, some are at 248, and Massive is handling that internally somehow. But Serum is translating these all into 2048. So when Serum translates from 1024 to 2048 internally, it switches the octave that in comparison to Massive. Serum always keeps its notes correct, but sometimes it's not in reference to Massive. Okay. There's Crusher. Escalation. Escalation 1. Format saw. Format saw. So you can see, I mean, pretty much identical. I pretty much outlined all of the ones that I had problems with. There's a couple that are missing, like Lunacy and Acid. Overall, it's pretty easy once you have this file, once you get the Python done and you have that file of all those weird named wave files, this one, and you take this list and organize it. Once you do that, it's pretty much a matter of comparing in the video where I showed you these dots. So I'm going to go run through that one more time. I'm going to try and zoom in on this in the video too. So once again, no dot is 2048. Green dot is 1024. This one I think is 512, or no, it's 256, and then this one is either 128 or 256. But Woody sounds bad, period. So it's not really like it matters. I think that's it. I'm going to show you one more time what it sounds like if it's messed up. So I'm going to type in 2048 and drag in one I know is 2048. So AI. Morph. I wonder if I have this one wrong. 1024. That one wasn't highlighted. So AI was supposed to be highlighted. There we go. Found a problem right there. Wonder what I had in mind. Let's see. Massive AI. I have not the correct number of them. So let's go over this and we can fix my problem. So I had it incorrectly assumed to be 2048. Bring it in here. And get the note into the correct octave. And morph it. So the way I know that something's wrong is you can hear this just a lack of smoothness in the current Serum version compared to Massive. It sounds like the Serum one is stuttering just a little bit at very high rates, though. Very slight cracking up sound is the only way I could explain it. But when we do switch to 1024, and I'm going to copy paste this so we can compare. Okay, so 1024. And then I bring in AI. Morph. Pop it up an octave to match the rest. Now let's compare to the previous one. The one we're at 2048. So you can hear it just clears up this kind of gurgling sound and makes it perfectly like Massive. And this is how you save them. Automatically goes to Xfer Records. Tables, or Serum presets tables. Then I created a Massive folder, and I'm going to go ahead and overwrite the Massive AI Wavetable. And yeah. All right, so one more thing. I'm going to show you what these look like in Audacity. And maybe how to get some information from Audacity if you so wish. So pretty much I think we've already gone over this in the previous videos. You need to look for patterns in wavetables to see if they're going to be wavetableable, for lack of a better phrase, or at least easily by the eye. If you look at something like, if you look at like something like DigiGrain, there's like so much noise and stuff going on that you can kind of see patterns, but it's sort of hard to distinguish what's going on. Whereas in this one, you can sort of see this is a pattern right here. It slightly changes into this one. slightly morphs into this one, slightly morphs into this one, slightly morphs into the next one, so on and so on. And you can see it happening. And you can use that to try and figure out where your cuts need to be. So I would go and I would click to where it seems like the next one starts, and you're roughly at 1024, which is what we used. Another trick is to go to the end and see how many samples there are. So in this case, 10,240. Bring a calculator over 10,240. Well, you got to see what divides into that. Does 2048 divide into that? It does. So that could be it, but that also means all the other ones could be too. 1024, etc., etc. So let's try one that has a green dot, one that is 1024. Well, I suppose AI was 1024 also, but I'm searching for one that isn't divisible, like 2048. Because I know they're out there. Was it Mobile Fans? Yeah, here's one. It says it's 3840. So 3840. Well, that 2048 doesn't divide that. That's not an integer, so it definitely wasn't 2048 samples. 3840 divided by 1024. Nope, once again, not it. 3840 divided by 512. 512 doesn't fit. And lo and behold, 256 and 15 frames. And if we go back into here, this was Mellifont, massive Mellifont. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or yeah, that doesn't show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. So that was a trick I think I used to figure out how many frames it was per wave cycle. And that led to these results. These are all perfect, pretty much. I mean, obviously, we found one mistake, so there's likely at least one more. But I started checking them about right here. It was pretty sure on the rest. And as a final closing statement, I'll make a statement or comment on one of the simple serums I've done recently, where it was the importance of sample accuracy, and this is where you can see that in action. So if you watch that video, you'll see it's either this square saw or this square saw. Or no, it's this one. And you can see it shifting right and left. Here, I'll just bring it over. Here's the shifting. There's the shifting. And this is the waveform or the wavetable I made using the sampling method. So they were pretty darn close to perfect, but not quite as good as... It's not as perfect as these that just rise and fall like exactly without any movement or strange looking in pieces. So there you have it, perfect massive wavetables in Serum. Thank you.